Good day. Today's lesson in Game Programming 1 is an introduction to audio in Unity. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to know and learn things about the audio system in Unity. Discover why audio is important in creating a good game. Learn about adding and playing audio clips in your project using Unity. There is a reason games put emphasis on audio, and that is to add aesthetic value to the game. Just like when Pong was created, simple square waves were used to create sound effects when the ball collides with the paddle or the vertical edges of the screen. Various factors affect the way sound is perceived in real life, such as the object's speed, the scenario it's in, and the direction it's coming from. It's best to build around how the sounds would work in your game to avoid unnecessary load to the engine. This is the case most especially in 3D games where the X, Y, and Z axes are involved. Various dedicated components for audio perception and playback are available in Unity. Features like reverb, Doppler effect, real-time mixing and effects, and many more work together to mimic or simulate real-world, natural sounds to the game. In this section, we will learn about the three primary components related to audio in Unity. The first is the audio source component which, as the name suggests, is the source of where an audio would be played back. If you attach this to a game object, it will need an audio clip to play back through the mixer. Audio clips are simply standard audio files that stores the sound itself. Unity accepts common audio file formats such as .mp3 and .wav, to name a few. The next component is the audio listener component, which essentially acts like the ears of the game. All audio sources that surround the game will be based off the position of where this component is placed and attached. The audio listener component also doesn't have any exposed properties that the designer would want to care about. The last component are audio filters, which are simply audio effects that you can apply to audio sources and listeners to improve the quality of the sounds in your game. Each filter is a separate component and contains its own unique exposed values for the developer to tweak and adjust. Now we'll create an example using an object that plays a sound when clicked. Let's start by creating a circle sprite and color it with a shade of red using its color property. Make sure to drag and drop the sprite asset to the hierarchy so a game object will be created, and it can be seen on the scene. Next, we'll attach an audio source component to the sprite game object. This is where the sound will come from when the object is clicked. You will know that you have attached the component successfully when you see a speaker icon on the game object from the scene view. As mentioned earlier, audio sources need audio clips to determine what sound the component will play. Download the audio file using the link shown on the screen, then drag the file to the assets folder of your project. It's considered good practice to create a folder named audio or sound to keep things more organized. Unity treats all imported audio files as audio clips. So now we can simply drag the imported file to the audio clip property of the sprite's audio source component. This will now play that specific sound when this component is triggered. Make sure also that the play on awake property of the audio source component is not checked. Not doing so will make the sound play the moment the game starts, which is not our intention for this example. You can leave the other properties as it is for the meantime. Game objects need to have some bounds to determine whether the object is clickable or not. Colliders are the perfect way to achieve this and is another example of how colliders can be utilized in Unity. Attach a circle collider to the object since we created a circle sprite, then adjust the bounds if needed. Now that we have all the components we need, let's move on to the scripting part of the example. Create a new script and name it Bell Sound. Double-click the file to open it up in Visual Studio. Inside the script, create a variable of type audio source named mySource, and reference our component by utilizing the getComponent method like what we did before. Next, we'll need a method that will run when the object is clicked. The MonoBehavior class contains the onMouseDown method which is useful in this example. Copy the code as seen in the image on the screen, then save the script. Basically, when the player clicks on the clickable bounds of the red circle, the mySource variable we created contains a play function which will play the audio clip stored in the reference component. The debug.log method is only used to visually confirm that the script is working. Head back to the Unity editor, attach the script to the game object, then play the game. Clicking on the red circle will show a debug message on the lower part of the editor. The code seems to be working, so you should also hear a ding sound which is the audio clip stored in the audio source component of the object. Here are the references for this lesson. Thank you for watching.